Hello, this is Mario from Team N-Bomb, and today I'm back with another reaction video. Today I'm going to be reacting to something a bit scary. It's called 3 Disturbing True Snapchat Stories by Mr. Nightmare. Now, judging by his username, you could already tell that this video is going to be pretty scary. And I'm not surprised that there are so many scary stories based on Snapchat, because Snapchat's not the safest social media app to use because it has a tracker that helps you find your friends, which I am completely against because you're just putting yourself in danger. So if any of you guys use Snapchat, please be very cautious while using it because you don't want to have to put yourself or your family in any kind of danger. So yeah, if you don't like scary videos, I suggest you probably leave. This video is not for the squeamish. Now, Mr. Nightmare's videos don't have a lot of visuals, but the dialogue and what he does show on screen is pretty freaky. So, for those who don't like horror videos, I'm going to give you like 10 more seconds to leave before I start. Okay, I'm not sure if that was 10 seconds, but I'm starting anyway. Alright, let's go. Snapchat horror story. Oh. Story 1 by Candace Michaels.
This was not even a month ago, so
Wow.
all the small details are still fresh in my mind. I have been using dating apps on and off for years. I think Tinder sucks along with its customer service, and I was never a fan of Hinge or OkCupid. I mainly use
I've
Bumble.
never even heard of those.
In my Bumble bio, I have my height, which is 4'11". I make a joke about being short, and then I have my Instagram and Snap at the bottom. Because of that, I get a decent amount of random follow requests on Instagram.
Mostly from
Half the
creepy
time
guys,
I don't follow them back. I also get a lot of random people adding me on Snap, probably more on there than on Instagram.
Another reason why I won't.
I usually
join
only
Snapchat.
add them back if I recognize their name from a recent conversation on Bumble, or if their Bitmoji looks pretty normal. I know, that sounds weird. I deal with a lot of stupid, disgusting boys on Bumble, but it's not as bad as Tinder. Still, I'll often have the typical douche frat boy asking if I do hookups or sending any kind of provocative messages. Usually when that happens, I'll mess with them a little bit and then unmatch them. This one time, I guess
like,
3, almost 4 weeks ago, I matched this actually pretty attractive guy. He sent some pickup line that was kind of creative and got my attention. Pretty soon he asked for my Snap. Then seconds later he added me after noticing I had my Snap in my bio anyway.
Boomer.
So I added him back because why not?
Okay, just for the heck of it, I'm gonna read this username. Name is Boomer Angelica. Yeah, I think it's Boomer Angelica.
He started messaging me on Snap.
Oh,
I
jeez.
screenshotted the first 2 pics on his Bumble profile and sent it to my girlfriends, mentioning how attractive he is.
Oh, if I were
My
one
friend
of those
Gianna
girlfriends,
replied
I'd say I
right
don't
away
trust
saying
him.
it's a catfish. She matched it too. So I decided I'd mess with them a little bit.
Don't do
The
that.
things he was
Just
messaging
report
me
him
on
right
Snap
away.
were slowly progressing to...
Yeah, guys, if you ever find someone like creepy, creepy or seems like spam on like YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, basically any social media platform, the best idea would be to just report them right away instead of, messing with them.
be more
Just
sexual.
my personal advice.
So I started saying the most unattractive things possible, and they started getting noticeably salty. I said I would be down to come over if they sent me a selfie.
No selfies.
He didn't send a selfie, of course. He just replied with a message asking what my address is.
Oh no.
I didn't reply at first, asking my girls what I should do next.
Don't.
But then I got a notification that the guy screenshotted my Snapchat profile. I immediately blocked him and remembered I had my location on the Snap map as public.
Oh no.
The problem is the houses in my area are spaced out enough where...
Yeah, guys, that's the thing I was talking about at the beginning. It's called Snap Map. I'm totally against it because it's just gonna put yourself and your family in grave danger. I'm sorry I've been pausing so much. I just have a lot to say.
Where he could easily identify which house I was in. I panicked, asking my girlfriends what to do.
Yeah, I panicked too.
They tried to calm me down, assuring me there was no chance he'd come to my house.
You don't know that.
They did a good job because they made me realize how ridiculous him coming to my house sounded.
Oh my god. You don't know
I
what
was
this
watching
creep's
New Girl
capable
on
of?
Netflix. The doorbell suddenly rang.
Oh crap.
I paused the show.
Here we go.
And I felt my heart jump into my throat. I was home alone, not expecting my parents or siblings.
Oh my god.
It was past 10.
I hate it when the doorbell
I
rings.
turned off my bedroom light and TV
and I'm
screen.
home alone.
I wanted total darkness to give the illusion no one was home.
Go away,
I suddenly got a
I'm not
notification that
home.
someone added me on Snap. The username was "It's me, add me back."
Oh,
I blocked the account immediately.
shoot.
2 minutes later, another account added me on Snap. This one, the username was "I'm outside your house." I screenshotted that and sent it to my...
Yeah, and I'll make a... how about this? I'll make a profile that says, "Get the F away from me, or I'm calling the cops, or I'm gonna chop your head off." You don't know if I own a murder axe in my closet, so yeah, just go away. Please leave me alone. Tell your mother.
friends and family, now in tears. I blocked it as well. There was a long pause now. I hoped maybe he had given up.
Yes.
During that time, I was texting friends and family, but ignoring all their phone calls because I was so paranoid.
Oh, sorry guys, I just thought I heard thunder. Thunder's the last thing I need when I'm reacting to a video like this.
That I'd be heard from outside. Finally, I got another dreaded notification from Snap, saying someone added me. This time the username said, "I'm looking right at you." I turned to the window naturally. I wish I hadn't. I wish I just ran out of the room and called 911.
What's there?
But I looked and saw him looking into my room. This disgusting, smiling man.
Shoot.
I'm sure my face turned completely ghostly white as I looked at him. I ran out of the entire house, screaming at the top of my lungs down the street.
Yes, run!
2 neighbors came outside in
Scream
response,
and run.
and I basically ran into one of their arms, crying for help. The neighbor called the police for me, but the man was not found in or around the house.
They always get away.
I somehow had to gather the courage to go back into that house and stay there for the night. I locked myself in my parents' room since it's the only bedroom upstairs with a lock, and I prayed I'd be able to fall asleep.
I wouldn't stay there.
I
I
lay
would get
awake
the
for
heck
seemingly
out.
hours though, and eventually I knew for a fact I heard something outside the door, like tiny, soft footsteps causing ever so slight cracks in the wood.
What now?
I sat up and stared at the bottom of the door, dreading the lights outside turning on or someone trying to open the door. I grabbed my cell phone and dialed 911. I immediately said to the operator in a quiet whisper that someone was inside my house and I was alone. But maybe I didn't say it quietly enough, because footsteps on the other side of the door confirmed that I was right. I wasn't just hearing things. The footsteps walked away from the door quickly, and I heard them go down the stairs, and eventually I heard the front storm door slam shut. Cops
ran
arrived
away.
shortly.
He made a
The
run
same
for it.
cops had returned.
The guy made a run for it.
This time they wouldn't allow me to sleep there the rest of the night.
Thank you.
I called my friend Gianna, who was still awake, and she said I could come sleep over for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you, Gianna.
The police escorted me there after I locked up my house. I'm grateful I didn't fall asleep that night, as I wouldn't have heard those tiny footsteps outside my room, and I might not have called the cops in time.
Yeah. Jeez. The next story is by G Tide. Hang on, I gotta close up this ad.
I hardly use Snap. I find
Good.
it to be an immature form of communication.
Me
I
too.
only have one so I can receive snaps from friends and occasionally send people.
Yeah, guys, that's another reason why I don't approve of Snapchat, because it's basically just the guidelines are just really loose. You have girls taking pictures of their butts and stuff. It's just very inappropriate. It's not like YouTube where the guidelines are pretty strict. Their guidelines are very loose compared to YouTube.
Snaps while I'm on vacation somewhere or doing something fun. I do not view Snapchat as a viable replacement for simply texting someone.
Yeah.
That being said, when this girl Kate that I hadn't heard from in months, who I was kind of into, one night randomly snapped me, my face lit up a bit. She snapped me a picture in a dark room, presumably her bedroom, saying, "What are you doing?" I replied with an awkward selfie, saying watching Friends, made more awkward with the
Friends.
obnoxiously bright flash from my phone. Another reason I hate Snapchat, because I look terrible in selfies.
Aw.
Expecting her to run away after my selfie, she actually snapped back. I could barely make out part of her face. It was 90% black wherever she was, with a hint of red glow.
Something
She said in the
fishy.
snap to come to her place. I was done with the stupid selfies, so I just messaged her back asking where. She sent an address. It was 10 minutes away.
I wouldn't
I was
trust
bored,
that
so
just-
why not? I got in my Chevy and started following towards the address. It wasn't that far. I was there quicker than expected, but I'm also a speedy driver. The address was of a house at the edge of the same town I live in. Since I have her number, I just texted her, but with my car idling and her not answering right away, I decided to just call her. The call was answered, but she didn't say anything on the other end.
Hello?
In fact, all I heard was garbled background noise, likely because the phone was answered by accident. I said hello a few times, hoping maybe she'd hear me in her back pocket or wherever her phone might have been. I
You
listened
let
for a
down
little
me.
while, and eventually I started hearing a man's voice in the background.
Man's voice?
I screamed hello 2 more times into the phone, and then I distinctly heard in a girl's scream, "Help me," before the call was hung up.
Call the cops!
I didn't know what to make of all of that. I texted her one more time, "What's going on?" Minutes later, I got a text back saying, "Come in, I just opened the front door."
No. Don't
I
go
looked
in.
at the house, and sure enough, the front door was left open now. At the same time, I got another snap from Kate. I opened it immediately. It was a picture of her legs in a dark room. She was wearing ripped jeans, and it looked like she was sitting on the floor. Something wasn't right here.
Yes.
I wasn't going in that house.
Nope.
I called 911 and reported a possible kidnapping situation. In the meantime, while waiting for the cops, I texted back the number, saying, "1 second, I'm on a phone call, then I'll come right in." But there was no answer.
I'm sorry, what?
The number,
I didn't hear
saying,
that
"1
part.
second, I'm on a phone call, then..." In the meantime, while waiting for the cops, I texted back the number, saying, "1 second, I'm on a phone call, then I'll come right in." But there was
Oh.
no answer. In fact, the next time I looked at the front door of the house, it was closed now. I was worried that what I was imagining was coming true. A cop car eventually pulled up behind my car, and I pointed them at the house. Another cop car pulled up quickly across the street, and 2 more cops got out. A total of 4 cops were knocking at the front door. A man opened the door, and they identified that they received a reported kidnapping in the house. One of the police officers actually let himself into the house past the man.
Yes.
The other 2 followed, while one stood with me by the front porch. Not even 30 seconds later, one of the cops yelled at the other 2 to get him in cuffs, and then a girl's cries for help soon became apparent from the basement.
She was
I
kidnapped.
was in absolute shock when the girl I recognized as Kate was being escorted out of the house in tears. She was a wreck. She looked like she had just experienced a life-changing trauma.
What
I
she
can't
did.
even imagine. This wasn't even her house. This was apparently the man's house.
Jeez.
But the girl's aunt didn't live too far, so she was brought there. Obviously, the man was brought to jail, and I'm
Sorry, guys. I thought I was hearing something. Probably just the wind.
sure he's now in prison. That Kate girl really didn't seem to want to talk to me too much beyond thanking me for saving her life a bunch of times. I'm not mad about it, though. I understand.
You saved the girl's
Experiencing
life.
whatever she went through in that basement is probably something no one wants to think about.
Yeah, God knows what happens.